Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Conversations with the Soul. I'm Rita Hickman, a body-mind expert and shiatsu massage therapist here in Northern Illinois. That's in the Chicagoland area, so around Chicago. So it's about 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time, and it's before I'm off for my. Good morning, Kathy. How nice to see you. It's before I'm off for my very busy day today. So today, all this week, we're talking about the chakras. And yesterday we talked about ways to activate the root chakra and your sacral chakra. And one of the pieces of comments came from Kathy yesterday, which was awesome, about how she sits on sheepskin to help her feel grounded. I mean, that's just a wonderful, wonderful way to do that. So today we're going to be talking about the next two chakras, the one that's right in your diaphragm area, and then the one that's in your heart. Good morning, Kristen. Nice to see you. So today's topic or title was, when are you not yourself? So I have these discussions with people about authenticity. And for many people, authenticity is where you've got one, let's say, personality, one state of mind, one point of view, and that's who you are, and everything else is sort of false. Everything else is inauthentic. Or when I remember working with some spiritual leaders and people who were highly respected, and they always said they knew when someone was lying because they could tell that their body language didn't match what they were saying. And I always struggled with things like that because I always had so many different conflicting points of view. I had so many different ideas and states of mind I could be in. And almost like I was cable TV, you know, I could see all the different points of view. I didn't have just one. I was pretty broad. And so many times what I was feeling inside of me was way different from what was coming out of my mouth. But they were both true. They were both real. And in fact, even more was real. You know, so maybe for 10 seconds I'd be thinking this thought and I'd be like, oh yeah, when I'm like this is how I feel. And oh yeah, when I'm like this is how I feel. And oh yeah, when I'm like this is how I feel. You know, and even if I wouldn't say anything, my energy would shift and change with my thoughts. So when people only identify, let's say, with one chakra, with one bundle of thoughts, ideas, and beliefs, that's many times what I believe they're considering. Good morning, Daniel. Nice to see you. What many people, not everybody, you know, this isn't, you know, across the board, but I think many people they identify with only one bundle of nerve endings, thoughts, beliefs, ideas, and that's where they hang out in their body. So for me, I hung out in my heart a lot because my sacral chakra was so uncomfortable, because I didn't feel grounded. I hung out in here. So most of my focus and most of my attention was on my heart chakra. And so everything, every thought, every idea, every belief had an emotion attached to it. So if my stomach was queasy, there was an emotion. If I thought about the word avocado, there was an emotion. I felt it in my heart. In reality, we feel every thought, everything that comes into our existence in multiple parts of our body. But we're only pay attention to the ones that we pay attention to the places that we hang out in. And that's how we can get very locked in. Good morning, Darcel. That's how we can get very locked in to one point of view. And you've seen it. When we get people out of, or ourselves, out of that singular focus of where we're focusing on in our body, when we get them out of that, their mind starts to expand. They start to look at the different points of view that they actually have. We all have, you know, like 2 million bits of information coming into our system every second. We're only consciously aware of, a few dozen of them, only a few teaspoons full of what's actually going on in our nervous system and all over our body. And so when we start to reconnect with our chakras, we actually start to discover other sides of us that we might have denied, that we might have ignored. So today we're going to talk about the heart chakra and the chakra that's right underneath the diaphragm. So for the heart chakra, that's usually considered the color green. It's a very healing color, very emotional color. And the one right around your diaphragm is yellow. It follows the Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, blah, blah, blah. So in the diaphragm chakra, that tends to be our identity, our sense of self. When you think of somebody coming up and punching you, where do you lock up? Good morning, Cassandra. I lock up right in my core. In Asian medicine, that's called our hara. Our hara is our center of power. It's where kind of our balance of gravity is. It's our core. And because of how we breathe in this world, because we tend to breathe shallowly, we tend to be hanging out in our other chakras. This is a chakra that tends to get ignored a lot, but has a lot of power to it. One, it tends to be a sinkhole for a lot of emotions. So if you spend your time kind of in shallower breathing, then many chemicals, toxic chemical, environmental chemicals, emotion chemicals, they get absorbed into this diaphragm area, into this diaphragm chakra. And so when you start doing deeper breathing, where you start activating and moving this part of your body more often, you can have a lot of emotional releases and a lot of weird toxic releases, like you may taste things in your mouth, you may get cold, you may get sweaty, because you're releasing things. Good morning, Bijal. You're releasing things which you've been, holding on to in that diaphragm area that have been as I said, a sinkhole where all of that stuff has sort of been absorbed because it hasn't been flushed out. And so when you do, those deep breathing exercises, when you do those panting exercises, I'm sure you're familiar with them. And I always thought they were kind of crazy. I was like, oh my God, you want me to do what? But when you do them, it massages. Good morning, Alicia. It massages that diaphragm area. It pushes out all the things which have been stored there, which that are ready to be flushed out either by sweating or peeing. So make sure you drink a lot of water, or it can be emotional release. And you don't have to figure out why you're having an emotional release. You don't have to be like, oh, this is blah, blah, blah. You don't have to come up with a story. Just release it and move on with your life. It's just an emotion that got absorbed there. And, if crying it out works for you, if feeling angry, temporarily works for you, fine. You do not have to attach a story. It's just an emotion chemical that's been stored there. So if you'd like to start to feel as if you are more powerful, as if you are more yourself, as if you have this presence to you. If you'd like to feel like you've got presence, like you are not this small box or person, but you are widely reaching out into the world, then you want to work this chakra. You want to work it through breathing, those deep breathing things. You want to work it by contracting it and releasing it. Because when you do that, that presses on your vagus nerve, relaxes your whole body, and encourages your whole body to cleanse itself. So that exercise is where you take a deep breath, you bear down for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then you release that. You do that a few times, and that relaxes and opens everything so your body can flush out what's been absorbed. And when you do something like Tai Chi, where a big focus of Tai Chi is growing and building that power center, that hara, you will get more connected to it. So many times if you have symptoms or feelings of like you're small, like you're insignificant, like you don't have gravitas, like you don't carry presence with you, many times it's just because that part of our body that chakra has been ignored, hasn't been stimulated, and it's usually just because of our breathing patterns and how we sit. We sit more hunched forward, so that part of our body gets squished. It doesn't get moved and exercised. It doesn't get an internal organ massage. So sometimes for people, what I'll do is a hara massage. And a hara massage is where I come in and I massage the abdomen. And it's through that massaging of the abdomen that then, as I said, people can have these toxic releases, tastes and smells and, and emotional things going up and sweats and colds and all that other stuff. It's really no big deal. It's not anything to create a big story around. It's just like, oh, look at that. Clearly I'm doing a nice little detox. So that's a good chakra to focus on when you feel you'd like to walk into a room with presence. It's one of those reasons that singers and actors are able to carry such a presence with them, because in order to do what they do, they have to have really good breath work. They have to have that activated quite a bit, that hara, that diaphragm area, because of how they breathe and speak and move and project. And so many times they walk into a room and into a space with presence. The next chakra we're talking about is the heart chakra. And that's one, as I said, I've hung out with, most of my life. So, somebody can say lemon and I'll feel it somewhere. I'll feel it in my heart and it'll be an emotion, and it's ridiculous. If you spend too much time in any one chakra, you can get overwhelmed by how it feels. It's not balanced out. So because I'd spend so much time in my heart, I'd be overwhelmed by feelings all of the time, overwhelmed with emotions. And then, of course, it would trigger other things. It would trigger thoughts, beliefs, ideas. Many times people believe that the soul resides in the heart. In fact, resides right about here. And what I found is there's certain times when I'm feeling very empathic, when I'm feeling very loving or compassionate or open or vulnerable. This is where I feel it, right on that inside edge of my heart. Because I feel just about everything in my body. When I feel loving, open, compassionate, kind, compassion specifically, this is where I feel it. And that's one of the reasons I think that the soul is considered to be in the heart, because that compassion just totally activates it, especially right in that area. If you notice and you start to get more sensitive to your body, usually it's the heart and then something else. So many times we feel a thought or an idea in multiple places in our body. And the heart is usually one of the places. It's got so many sensations and so many sensors. A whole therapy's been built around it called heart math, a whole way of understanding how the heart has its own consciousness and its own brain, and it makes its own decisions because of its awareness of what's going on around us. So heart work can be really helpful because if we focus on it too much, then our heart can also get irritated and it feels inflamed. And we tend to feel our heart more when we have a little bit more inflammation around our heart. And everybody's got a little bit because of our diet, our lifestyle. We've got a low level of inflammation going on. So we're feeling more in our heart, which is causing people to react to things in a more emotional way because we're feeling it now. So if you'd like to work your heart, cardiovascular stuff is good. That breathing exercise stuff is good. Biofeedback is good. Learning how to speed up your heart and how to, dial down your heart. Feeling your heart in different experiences in different ways. So when you let yourself have different emotions, thoughts, feelings, and you let yourself be present in your heart, you'll realize that that's a heart massage. And it's a heart massage that pushes out that inflammation. And it's a heart massage that pushes out anything that is kind of stuck, any chemicals which are kind of stuck in your heart. When we only focus on one emotion, let's say happy, then only one part of our heart gets worked out, gets a workout, because that's the only emotion we'll let ourselves have, because otherwise we detour, to other emotions, or we focus on, as I said, one chakra, one part of our body. When you let yourself have a wide range of emotions: shame, guilt, sadness, fear, anxiety, joy, pleasure, metaphysics. When you let yourself visit all parts of your body, good morning, Robin, then your heart gets a really good workout and it keeps it healthy. If you want to be healthy, it's not about focusing on one state of mind or another state of mind. It's not about only doing one, about there being a right way and a wrong way. It's about allowing yourself in a way that isn't overwhelming to experience all of life. You know, you don't have to experience so that it makes you crazy, but experience it so that your heart and your body really stays healthy. Because every time that you have a thought, a feeling, an emotion, when you let yourself experience it, parts of your body are getting massages. Because even when we clamp down on something, even when we lock up, that then tells our body to relax. So part of the work that I do is I will do compressions on people, or I'll have them tighten something up and relax it. Do you remember when you were a kid, maybe in gym class, and they told you tighten your toes, tighten your ankles, tighten your knees, tighten your thighs? And I thought, oh my God, you're such a loser. And, I do it, but half-heartedly. The science behind it is when you tighten something up, when you tighten your nervous system, it tells it to relax. So even when you react to something, even when you have a negative reaction, if you then let yourself relax, you will be more relaxed in that area than you were before. So locking up isn't a bad thing. Emotions, negative, positive, everything there is, they aren't bad. The key is to let them come and then let them go, because then your body gets a little bit of a massage, all the important organs that usually don't get what they need. So especially the heart. When you let yourself experience the world in all of its colors, good morning, Jackie, then your heart gets a really great workout, and it keeps the inflammation down, it keeps the toxins down, and it keeps it super healthy. So those are the two chakras that we're talking about today. Giving your heart a workout. Good morning, Ro. How nice to see you. And giving your diaphragm a good workout. Because when you get yourself back into your body, give yourself permission to get back into your body, then you can start really feeling what's going on. And your intuition gets better and you navigate life better. Good morning, Carolyn. How nice to see you. Now, one of the ways we can do that without going out into the world and creating all sorts of messes and drama for ourselves, or commenting on Facebook, about politics or life or whatever. One of the ways we can do that is through books and movies and imagination. Things which are well written that really bring us into a story and let us vicariously experience something, that does the same sort of thing, as long as you're present to it. Your body doesn't know the difference between something that you imagine and something that actually happens. So you might as well go the imagination route for stuff that's uncomfortable, so you can still get the good full body chakra workout, rather than go out in life and keep recreating your pattern. That's kind of crazy. And that may land you in jail. That may ruin your relationships. It's so much easier to give yourself time and space to experience all those different realities, experience all those different points of view without actually having to go out and live it yourself. So well-written books, well-done movies, and your imagination, letting yourself go into even the painful things, especially the painful things. Because if it's painful, we've probably avoided it. And it's painful because it's inflamed. And if we stop avoiding it and we bring our consciousness into it, books. Absolutely. Well, daughter of a librarian, sister's a librarian, daughter of a teacher, runs in the family. It allows your whole body to stay healthy. If something is painful, it means that there's some inflammation there. And if there's inflammation there, it means that our consciousness hasn't been there and hasn't been able to give it a massage to push it out and keep it healthy. So if something is painful, find a gentle way, imagination, books, movies, whatever it may be, in order to feel those things so that they can be released out of your body, a nice cathartic release. You can plan these things. You don't have to do it, by happen chance. You can say, you know what? I'm feeling this. I'm going to watch a sad movie. Yes, law of attention. Exactly. I'm going to watch a sad movie. I'm going to watch something that scares me a little bit so that I can flush these things out of my body. So if you're feeling scared, watch a scary movie. If you're feeling sad, watch something sad. Because what that will also do, don't ignore it and avoid it. What it will help you do is push out the things which are making you feel more sensitive. And then you'll be done on the other side after you've cried or gotten angry or, just whatever it may be. After you've had that emotion, you're going to feel better. Because the contraction, yes, the contraction pushes it out and then tells your body to relax and opens things up. It's not about narrowing your focus and staying there. It's about allowing it to come and allowing it to go. It's a very Buddhist principle. It's that observation. You don't dive into the pool and become it. You don't lose yourself. Instead, you take a step back and you experience it vicariously so that your body can stay healthy. Nietzsche, I believe it was Nietzsche, who said that the way to enlightenment was to watch operas. Because it was this shared group experience of emotion. And most operas were not necessarily happy. They were a lot of tragedies and a lot of pain and a lot of difficulty. And I could be wrong about it being Nietzsche, but it's one of those great philosophers, one of the big ones. And their idea was, if you want to get to enlightenment and wholeness and completion, then you need to allow yourself to experience big, difficult emotions that we usually ignore, especially if you experience them with other people. That's one of the reasons that movies are so much fun, going out to see movies, because now you're having a shared experience of emotion with everybody else in the theater, and you're connected to them, and you can feel their energy, and we're all having it, and it gives you, permission to have that experience and that emotion. That's a great way to stay healthy. It keeps you from going out and screwing up your life, and making it more difficult and dramatic than it needs to be. Accept it, allow it, let it be, let it come, let it go. And on the other side, you're going to be in a so much better place. And your whole body would have gotten a really good massage out of it, and it physically stays healthier. So those are my 2 chakras for the day. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the throat and the third eye. So I hope you can join me. If you want to stay up on these live streams, go to inspiremassage.com, sign up for our emails. I do these Monday through Friday, 8:15 CST. And I'm about a week behind for my emails for live streams, so you'll get last week's, which are all about surviving winter. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Oh, finish. Come on, finish. I guess you get a little bit more of me until I can get it to finish. Fast.